Hey credit warriors, welcome to the show. Now, have you ever wondered about the difference between personal and business credit cards? And then there's another category of cards that not many people know about called corporate cards. Well, in this video, I am going to unravel the mystery and go through the different types of benefits that each of these three types of cards provides. And it may surprise you that for the business cards at least, the bar of what counts as a business for application purposes is actually set pretty low. So you may not realize that you are actually eligible for a business credit card. And this video is brought to you by North One, but more on that later. All right, let's get started. Personal versus business credit cards. So we'll start with personal versus business cards. First up, who is eligible for each? Well, for a personal card, it's anyone over 18 who has a good credit score and a steady source of income. And for a business card, you're going to need all of that, but then in addition, you're going to need some sort of business. Now, this may be easier than you think. You don't need to be chairman of the board.
I'm bored. I'm the chairman of the board.
And you actually don't even need a company set up. Anyone who works as a freelancer can normally apply for a business credit card. You could be an Uber driver.
You call Uber? Get in, I'm your driver.
Well, like a regular Uber driver. Or you could be someone who sells things on Amazon. You could be an Airbnb host, or even a YouTuber. These things could even be a side hustle in addition to your full-time job, and you could very likely still qualify. Now, if you have an LLC set up, that's great. You can apply using your company's EIN or employer identification number, but if you don't, you can usually apply for business credit cards using your own personal social security number instead of a company EIN. Next, how do business credit cards affect your credit? Well, a business credit card will normally still require a hard pull on your personal credit report for the application, and that is because business credit cards usually require something called personal guarantee. We'll have a little bit more on that later. But business credit cards typically do not show up as a line of credit on your personal credit report. And there are some advantages to this. For example, if you spend a lot on your business credit card and always rack up high balances, that won't tank your personal credit score. Also, if you want to keep the number of new accounts you've opened in the past few years to a minimum because you want to get approved for Chase cards, for example, business credit cards can be a good option. Chase likes to see 5 or less new personal credit cards open in the past 24 months, which is 2 years, if they are going to approve you for a new Chase credit card. That's known as the Chase 524 rule. But do remember, since business credit cards require a personal guarantee, your personal credit score affects your approval odds, and in addition, if you miss a payment on your business credit card, that will very likely get reported to your personal credit report and tank your credit score. However, under normal circumstances, if your account is in good standing, it won't get reported to personal. Then what about rewards? This is an area where business credit cards really shine, especially in the area of welcome bonuses. You can get a huge amount of points or cashback for opening a card, and we're going to give you a few examples. But first, if you do run a small business, or if you're a freelance Batman Uber driver, you may be looking for a business bank account tailored to the needs of the small entrepreneur. And that is where the sponsor of today's video, North One, comes in. North One is a technology company providing FDIC-insured banking services to small businesses, freelancers, and entrepreneurs. It only takes 3 minutes to apply online. Compare this with traditional banks where you may be at a physical branch for like an hour signing forms. Once your account is approved, you will receive a physical and virtual North One debit card that you can use to make purchases for your business. Your North One account integrates seamlessly with other services and websites often used by entrepreneurs, like Airbnb, Etsy, Lyft, and the industry standard accounting software QuickBooks, making it incredibly easy to keep track of your finances. And they take keeping track of your finances one step further with a feature called envelopes, where you can separate all the money that comes in into separate envelopes within the same account. So you'll know you're always allocating enough money for taxes, expenses, and your own profit, of course. North One has a very transparent fee structure, and you'll find them way cheaper than most mainstream banks. There's just a $10 monthly fee, and most other things like ACH transfers or ATM withdrawals are free. So what are you waiting for? Set up an account for your small business or side hustle today. And everyone who opens and funds their account through my link below will get a $10 bonus. All right, so welcome bonuses on business credit cards tend to be way higher than their personal equivalents. On the personal Amex Platinum, for example, I'm currently currently seeing an 80,000 point public offer. But on the Business Platinum, you can find welcome offers as high as 170,000 points. That could be worth up to $3,400 or more if you transferred it to airlines and used it to book business class flights. Then on cashback cards, we also see higher bonuses on business credit cards. This Capital One business card is offering $1,000 cashback as a welcome bonus. Now you will notice though that the spend requirements for these welcome offers are higher. The Amex Business Platinum is requiring $15,000 spending in the first 3 months in order to qualify for that 170,000 points. And the Capital One was expecting $50,000 worth of spending in 6 months if you wanted that full $1,000 cashback. Now it is possible to get business credit cards with lower spend requirements, but if you want the really big bonuses, you need to spend more. But some types of businesses do have that level of spending. If you were selling things on Amazon, for example, you might have to spend $50,000 to buy products to make maybe $10,000 worth of profit. So even if your annual income was $50,000, you might be spending $250,000 on merchandise to generate that $50,000 profit, and thus you would have the spending to get that bonus. And you might need a warehouse for all those products.
Bart! Have you started smoking?
With business credit cards, reward categories will also be tailored more towards where businesses are expected to spend money. Things like shipping, online advertising, and travel, which overlaps with personal cards. Now, there are a few other benefits of business credit cards. For example, credit limits tend to be higher. My highest limit on a business credit card is about $40,000, whereas on personal it's $15,000. And this is because business spending is often a lot higher than your personal income, like we mentioned. Then they often have better tools for giving you an itemized breakdown of different categories where you spent money in, uploading receipts, and also linking to bookkeeping software like QuickBooks. One limitation of business cards, though, is that they don't have the same consumer protections as personal cards. So things like late fees for missed payments, etc., tend to be higher. But let's now move on and compare business credit cards with the other type of credit card that we mentioned at the beginning: business cards versus corporate cards. Now, when we said business cards, we really should have referred to them as small business cards, because there is another category of big business card called corporate cards. Now, these are intended for much larger businesses. American Express says that their corporate cards are aimed for businesses that have an annual revenue of $4 million or higher. Whereas you can normally get a business credit card with an LLC or even as a sole proprietor, for corporate cards, they're only available to S Corps, C Corps, and under some circumstances, LLCs. Companies issuing corporate cards will also often have a minimum number of employees at the business. Often it's 15 or more, and they'll often require a minimum monthly spending requirement on the card to keep the account open. An advantage of corporate cards, though, is that there is no personal guarantee. Approval for these cards is based on the company's own credit score and revenue, and the owners of the company are not personally liable for any debt. Employees who are issued cards, though, may be held personally liable for any unauthorized spending, like using the card to fund lavish after-work parties. Corporate cards also often offer greater control in setting spending limits or limiting spending categories on employee cards. Like, you could totally limit spending on entertainment services, for example.
None of these were charged to me. This is all of them.
Oh, that was all us.
For most people, you are more likely to be issued a corporate card by the large company you work for, rather than being the person who has to make the decision to open a corporate card. With corporate credit cards, the employees who are issued cards can link them to their own rewards programs, like Amex membership rewards, for example, and they can earn rewards on their business spending if their company allows it. Some companies don't. They want those rewards for themselves. But with small business cards, no matter what, if you're an employee issued a card, the rewards always go to the primary card holder, which would be the business owner. All right, guys, I hope that little breakdown of these 3 types of credit cards has given you some insight and helped you in making the decision on which one would be right for you. Or if you're an employee who's been issued a corporate card at work, we've hopefully given you some insight and helped you understand more about how it works. Don't forget to check out the sponsor of today's video, North One, and you can get a $10 bonus when you set up and fund an account. Link for that is below. As always, please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.